Power Ranger time. Oh, whoops, sorry. This ain't Go Power Rangers.
I want to be the White Ranger.
No, I'm the
Hell
white.
yeah, we're
I'm
back.
the White Ranger. I know I'm White Ranger.
I want to be the black
No,
one then. Kidding. I want to be the Black Ranger then. Anthony always says he wants to be the Black Ranger or the blue one. I think.
Yeah, he wants to be the blue one. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome into another episode, another stream of Auto Rhythm. We're just those crazy two weird guys from South Dakota. We just don't know what we're doing anymore nowadays because there's a blizzard outside.
It's cold. It's cold. There's lots of snow. I wish I had some like snow effects or some cocaine or something. I could
Jesus. Hey! Don't be. Oh, Jesus Christ! Well, welcome in, everybody.
You know what, Jay? Everybody's welcome to join us, and it's Tuesday. There's a blizzard. You know how we do it, right? You know how we celebrate, huh? I got my turtleneck tattoo. I'm rocking all the ink tonight. I'm not wearing a t-shirt. Jamie's rocking the Auburn hat here. You know how we celebrate? We take a little bit of this, a little bit of the Jameson, and then I got a chaser here, Jay. I got some pickle juice.
Pickle juice.
Donovan. Let's roll.
Yeah. Hey, I got some OJ right here, so we're good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think you were welcoming everybody in. I mean to cut you off there. I'm thirsty.
Oh, I'm sure you were thirsty. I mean, it's a Thursday. Well, it's not Thirsty Thursday, but I mean, it's a How about this? It's a Frosty Tuesday.
Frosty Tuesday. There we go. Let's go to Wendy's. Yes. Let's go through the Wendy's drive-through.
Damn right. That's for damn sure. Well, everyone's probably wondering what's going on today. What's going on? So we're gonna talk some NFC running backs. Maybe some little XFL. This past weekend there was some NASCAR as well. I mean, we're NASCAR guys, so beep, beep. Yeah. So yeah, I was actually pretty crazy that we got like 7 of us in the league, our NASCAR league, which is kind of cool, kind of fun. I changed it to a points league, which was I wasn't expecting to see all those high points, but I think it works. It's just one of those things. It's kind of a test run, kind of see what works, what doesn't. Because last year I did some other odd thing and just wins or whatever. So I think points is a little bit better. I'll just have to do some adjusting for maybe next year or something like that. But yeah, man, it's all good. Donovan, hope you're having a nice, lovely Tuesday. It's always nice to have your presence.
Donovan, I hope you're staying warm, man. I think they're in his neck of the woods, man. I think they're getting like 2 feet. I know we're supposed to get, anywhere from like 11 to 14, but the guys in the cities in Wisconsin, it's a doozy. Makes me cold. Makes me want to put on a sweatshirt just thinking about it. Ooh. Talk about cold here, and there's other big sports stuff going on. Everybody. And if people are snowed in, you know what they can do, Jay? They can go over to Discord and check us out. They can go on Spotify. Do I need to break the phone out again and show you on Spotify where we're at? Out of Rhythm Fantasy Sports. There's a couple places you can find us. And, there it is. There's the banner right there. It's crazy how that works. You know what? And if you're not, if you want to join us, maybe we'll be snowed in Thursday. And maybe we'll do another stream. Who knows? Maybe Donovan. Maybe we'll do the 3-man weave again, and I'll break out the Jameson. Who knows? But yeah, dude. I'm pumped. I've been waiting a week for this show. You got to talk about running backs tonight. Get to talk, some NASCAR. Get to talk a little bit of everything. I love it. XFL, the XFL's back. Woo! God, I'm all pumped up. Oh yeah, now NASCAR. Yeah, yep. Donovan. Yep. Jay was talking about it. Like, got 7 guys in the league. When we talk NASCAR in a few minutes here, we'll kind of bring up some of the first week standings and what happened. But yeah, it's not too late. Hey, you got 35 more races. If Donovan joins the NASCAR league, be guy number 8. Maybe he can still win the championship. Who knows? It's a point system this year. So,
Oh yeah, most definitely.
No.
Oh yeah, I think there is. Well, Donovan, just shoot me a message. I'll get you hooked up right away. It's on Fantrax, so I'll get you hooked up. But yeah, no. Other than that, I know Eli mentioned. Make sure you follow us on Google, Apple, and Spotify as well. So if you don't catch our stream, you can always catch the audio version of our craziness.
Doing the running man here. Feeling it tonight, man.
Oh, are you? Good gravy. Well, I know which I guess which way do you want to go first? Do you want to go XFL? Do you want to do NASCAR?
Do I get to choose? Ooh.
Yeah, whatever you decide to pop up is direction we're gonna go.
I want to do some XFL. I've been waiting for this. 2001, it failed. Who was in charge? Vince McMahon. 2020, COVID probably sabotaged again. But who was in charge? Vince McMahon. Failed again. But now The Rock is in. If you smell, The Rock is in charge now, and the product looked good, man. I caught a little bit of the action. Obviously Jamie's got the scores there, and they're on the bottom ticker, but. I don't know. What were your initial impressions? I was looking for the ex-NFL guys because the league hasn't really built any stars yet. I mean, it's brand new for all intents and purposes.
Most definitely.
New league. So, they don't have, you can't build the tight end from, San Antonio until, it's going to take weeks to do. They'll create stars. I don't have any doubt about that. I think The Rock knows what he's doing. He's good at marketing and it looks like a good product. But I was looking at the NFL guys. I was looking at, Ben DiNucci, who was your guys' backup. Obviously Josh Gordon, AJ McCarron, Ballage, who was a back with the Dolphins.
Paxton Lynch.
Paxton Lynch, yeah, a Paxton Lynch sighting. I was like, whoa.
Yep. We had Martavis Bryant, Corey Lattimore. So I mean, there was a few. I mean, there was also some defensive guys too. But these were I think Kalen Ballage. He was another one.
Yep.
So there was a lot of guys. A lot of ex NFL guys. I was kind of more excited to see Josh Gordon. I briefly saw his one touchdown that he got. Other than that, I've seen some other people bitching and moaning. Oh, this is just crap. The games are shitty and whatnot. Honestly, it's the first week. It's gonna be. It's just like the NFL, dude. NFL it's gonna be the first week. You don't know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be. You got to figure it. It's the first time playing against the opposite side this time instead of against themselves. So it's probably gonna take a couple weeks for them to kind of hash things out, to kind of see which guys are their top guys, or which their main running backs are. So all this stuff is gonna take a little time. That's for damn sure. I mean, one guy was already. I'm in some Facebook groups with the XFL and the USFL. So there were some guys already bashing the XFL. Bad play, and I'm just like,
out of here.
It is. I mean, you got all these
bunch of fucking haters, dude.
It is.
Bunch of goddamn like they. I don't mean to cut you off, but like they act. They act sacrilegious about this. Like it takes like probably 4 or 5 weeks to actually like for the offenses to be firing on all cylinders to get actual good play in the NFL. And you're gonna judge this week this league after a week. Get the fuck out of here. The same people that they were pulling that and obviously the AAF. I mean, they're comparing it to the AAF. AAF was it was garbage. It had bad leadership, a bad TV deal. Just it was kind of like and people weren't going to pay. They were overcharging for ticket prices, and that's why that failed. This is a lot more reasonable, dude. If we lived in any of these markets, I'd go see the Battlehawks.
Oh yeah.
If we were in, I'd go see the Vegas team. Absolutely. Tickets are reasonable. The gameplay, it's going to get better. I mean, like you said, you've got a few guys. It's like, I compare it to independent wrestling. If we were to go to some event in Sioux Falls or wherever,
Yeah, like
maybe,
AEW or something like that.
yeah. Or yeah. You'd see maybe some guy that used to be big back, 20, 25 years ago. Like, oh, I remember Gangrel, or he's an independent wrestler now or something. Like, you're gonna have these ex NFL guys, and AJ McCarron. Josh Gordon was an All Pro receiver. I mean, I know this has been 10 years, but I mean, these are some established names. So you have to have a few names that people can grasp onto, and and Josh, he didn't tear it up. I mean, I don't know what people were expecting if they wanted like 8 grabs, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like, he didn't tear it up, but it's still nice to see Josh Gordon out there. Because I know, had a 6 for 74 and a touchdown. I mean, those are solid numbers. Well,
Oh
he's
yeah.
playing against a semi-pro. Get out of here, man. Like, give the league a chance. Let's give it a full season.
Oh yeah,
Let's
most
not
definitely.
jump the gun here. And that's just my 2 cents. I think people, they want to shit on stuff right away. They don't have any patience. We're in a, I get everybody's fucking ADD, and they want. I want it now. I want it now. I want my 300-yard passing games. I want my 200-yard rushing game. It's like, dude, it's gonna take time, and they've got some decent coaches. I mean, they've got the elements. Got decent coaches. I trust The Rock. I don't know about his tequila, but everything else he does turns to gold.
Yeah, look at, they got Rod Woodson, they got what's his
Heinz
name?
Ward,
Hein Morns, and then
Yeah.
the Renegades, old coach was one of Dallas's coaches or whatever, or I can't remember what's his name. Um or he was a defense or offensive coach. I can't remember exactly which one it was, but
Wade Phillips?
yeah, Wade Phillips.
I'm
So I
thinking of?
mean,
Yeah.
so I mean, so they have people there they have talent, that know what they're doing, So yeah, you're kind of mentioning the AFF, that failed just because COVID hit, and I think if there was more of an opportunity, I think that would have stuck around, because I actually liked some of those teams that they actually had, and now, I mean, I just kind of sucks to kind of see that, because I wouldn't mind the AF, it's because the San Antonio actually had a decent team, and I mean, I like their logo, I like their logo. I mean, they had San Diego battleships or whatever, and they actually had a cool freaking logo and whatnot, So just crazy stuff. But now if you think about it, arena football is going to try to be making a comeback. So I mean, this is just crazy stuff that's kind of going on. I mean, the arena was huge, and I know it's been off the air for a while, but yeah, I used to watch the like the Philadelphia something, Philadelphia Souls.
Philadelphia Soul. Yeah, the Soul.
Yep,
I remember
that was.
Bon Jovi. I think it was Bon
Yep,
Jovi's team. But
yep.
yeah, there was people have acted like, like it can't work, or there hasn't been not semi-pro, but professional leagues that, I mean, nothing's going to be the NFL. The NFL is a multi-billion-dollar league. I mean, this is the biggest sports league arguably in the world, at least in this country. So you're not competing with the NFL. It's like WWE and AEW. It's like AEW is a good product, but it's not WWE. It's like, that doesn't mean it's not a good product. Like, we got arena football, the XFL, and I'm thinking of another league. They played last spring. I'm slipping my mind right now, but there have been other leagues that that have, back in the day, the not AFL, but I'm trying to think of, what was the league in the 80s? Oh, USA.
Yeah, that's the USFL.
USFL, yeah,
Yeah,
USFL. That's what I was thinking of last
yeah,
year, and they had a pretty good first season. I
yeah.
know Colin Cowherd was talking them up a bunch on his show, and they were on FS1, and
Oh, shit, that reminds me, they were actually having a draft.
coming up with bullshit.
The USFL was actually having a draft today.
Oh,
An actual legit draft. Yeah.
any names any of us would recognize that were?
I'm not sure. Like, all I know is that there's a some kind of organization out there. I can't remember exactly. I was kind of reading it last night a little bit, and I was like, so there's this organization out there that scouts college kids and stuff like that, and they have them on this list and whatnot, and then they end up shoot these scouts or scout or prospects to these teams and whatnot. So I was like, "Ooh, that's kind of interesting." It's like I didn't know they, So I was just kind of reading a little bit into that a little bit, and that was actually pretty sweet to kind of see. I can't remember how many rounds they were going to have. I think 7 or 8 rounds total. I think possibly. So it was kind of interesting.
It looks. I'm trying to look at some of the picks here. Um, let's see here.
I think it was going to be. I wasn't sure if it was going to be.
It's a lot of smaller school guys.
Yeah,
The USFL draft here. Kind of
yeah.
looking at Tanner Morgan. I remember him watching Big Ten football. I remember him from the Gophers.
Oh crap! Really?
Yeah.
Adrian Martinez got drafted by the USFL Generals.
Oh, is that the kid from SDSU?
No, that's a kid from that was a Husker. He transferred to K
Oh
State.
shit.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. Yeah, I'm looking here.
Oh, crazy, dude. Chase Bryce, actually, the Appalachian
Oh,
kid
Appalachian
from
State guy. Yeah.
yeah, he got drafted by the Gamblers.
Fucking right.
This is crazy.
Yeah, yeah, like a lot of smaller, guys that would be undrafted in the NFL probably or late round picks.
Yeah,
You know, we'll see. Well, but they're stocking up player. I mean, at the very least,
really.
you're stocking up players, and these leagues they got the right mindset. They're rolling with 8 teams. A lot of these USFL, XFL, they got the right mindset. They're not over expanding. You're not the NFL. I mean, the NFL could probably do with 40 teams if they wanted to. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, for
they can
sure.
handle it, but yeah, a lot of good stuff coming. I think there's
Yeah.
another game Thursday night for the XFL. I think St. Louis, I like the Battlehawks.
I always been with Dallas. I always like their Dallas product, the Dallas Renegades. I like
Uh,
their logo, but now
Arlington.
they kind of yeah, I always kind of like their stuff, which is pretty sweet.
Got the big D, and that's what she said. No,
Uh,
if you want my early preseason, or I guess season, who's gonna win this XFL title?
I
I
mean,
I
if you want to, go ahead, man. Because I mean, to me,
I'm
it's
gonna
not a
say it.
big deal.
I make bold predictions on this show, and I'm gonna say it. I think that Arlington. I think Arlington is gonna be in the final against St. Louis. I and I think
Oh,
Jared. I think the Renegades are gonna take the first XFL championship.
yeah, I know it's gonna be kind of I don't know. God, it's kind of for me. I guess it's really difficult. 'Cause I was gonna kind of dig into some of the teams here just a little bit to see who which team maybe could have been stacked or whatnot. But let's just go with I'm gonna go with this. The Seahawks. I think they might have some good play in there a little bit. I think it'll take them a little
I'll
bit to
see.
kind of, yeah. I think it's gonna take them a little bit of time to kind of grasp, or well, actually, let's say the Battlehawks. There we go. Let's go with Battlehawks.
Yeah,
I
yeah, I
changed my
know.
mind.
AJ McCarron, man. I mean, he was a solid backup, and now he'll probably be league MVP. Honestly,
You know,
there's no reason because he would even in today's NFL. I mean, AJ would be a solid backup somewhere, Buffalo or wherever, Cincy.
oh
So I
yeah,
mean,
most definitely.
AJ could definitely step into this league and handle himself. So
Oh, I would think so. I mean, he
I
didn't
think he's
really
a top
get
30.
too
I think
big.
AJ McCarron's a top 30. I think he's a turbo
Yeah,
point. So you're basically, you have an XFL team that has a top 35 quarterback in the world handling them. So I think I think that's a good prediction. XFL,
yeah.
yeah, it's back. Jared's back. XFL's back.
Oh, right.
Every
I know, right?
time I see that Seattle logo, though, it reminds me of remember the UAB Blazers, the college team.
Oh,
They have a
oh,
they have a
I
logo
might have seen.
like that.
Yeah, I've probably seen a little bit of that. That's for sure. But yeah, no, I mean, overall, I just, I was kind of happy to see some XFL a little bit this weekend, and I just think that's, this next week's going to be a little bit better play. It's just going to the product's going to be a little bit better. It's going to get better. That's for damn sure. But
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring up.
Stay patient.
Um, oh yeah, most
Everybody just needs to
definitely.
stay patient. Stop shitting on the league.
Yep.
Stop shitting on the league. Do you hear me? Stop shitting on the league.
I'm all so Paxton Lynch who got benched. He got benched, which is crazy. And it goes
Oh
to
God,
show
he was
his
awful.
talent. I was seeing headlines of, he got replaced, and I'm like, oh my God.
Not the first time in his career. Wasn't he drafted to be Peyton Manning's replacement?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. That didn't turn out well. So
his only skill, yeah, they were joking. His only skill is he's 6'7".
yeah, right. So it's just
Man.
like he had
Yeah,
one bad interception, I guess, and they said, nope, you're done. I'm
yeah,
like,
they pulled the plug. Yeah, dude. Like he had a touchdown. I mean, he had 136 in the touchdown, but they pulled the
yeah,
plug on his ass.
yeah. I mean,
Uh,
it's. I think they don't know if he's going to be a starter for week 2, so we'll have to see. We'll have to see on that.
no, no,
That's for quick, sure.
he's gonna go the way of Johnny Manziel, and yeah,
Probably, it wouldn't surprise me.
they're gonna permanently pull the plug on this. Paxton he'll be selling insurance back in Denver somewhere. What a
uh,
clown! What a clown! Daytona 500, Jay, the biggest
right?
race of the year.
I know.
That was
It
so much
was
fun.
crazy. I did a couple of DFS lineups, and I only
Go.
put 20 cents in, and I got my 20 cents back.
Yeah, hey, it's a good investment.
uh,
We're risky here. Brock
uh,
Purdy 20.
uh, hey, maybe. I guess it depends. If you said screw this, I can go be a starter somewhere else. But I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
I just
The
think
Rock's gonna offer him $5 million and a share of his Terramana tequila. Come over, Brock. You won't have any issues starting here. Not over Paxton Lynch.
No, that would be kind of cool. Or maybe Brock goes to USFL or something like that, because it's a little bit more organized.
He'd
Maybe.
tear it up. Dude, I'd love an AJ McCarron, Brock Purdy, XFL championship matchup. That sounds delicious. That's something
Yeah,
I'd see in the NFL. I mean, that sounds like a Cardinals, 49ers game, regular season game or something like that. That doesn't sound too bad at all. That gives your league some credibility. You get a guy, yeah, you get an undervalued guy like Brock Purdy in your league. That's what they need. Honestly, they have a lot of these guys that were, backups or their former stars like Josh Gordon. If you could get a legit current name to buy him over or pull him over, that would help a lot with the credibility. And shut all these idiots on Twitter up. All right, I'm done with my XFL rant there, because I'm tired of people being impatient. I'm tired of haters.
Yeah. Yes. But no, we are going to talk. You mentioned Daytona 500. Donovan and I were streaming while the race was on. I actually caught just a little bit of it. And there's always their big one, and that always seems to happen no matter whatever happens. It always seems to happen. It never fails. And yeah, it was kind of crazy to see Stenhouse actually winning the Daytona 500.
Bro, it's been a long time. I mean, he's been through a lot of shit. I mean, remember when he was a young guy, when he was a rookie, he was dating Danica, and
Yep.
Roush put him in it was probably like 10 years ago now. I mean, he was supposed to be the next big star. I mean, he was poised. I mean, he won a couple nationwide. I guess they're Xfinity now, but he won a couple of
Yep.
the lower series championships, and they're like, this guy's gonna be the next Ken Seth or Dale Jr. And it just never happened for him. But I'm glad to see that he found some success, and Brad Doherty, Doherty used to be an ESPN, like years ago, he used to be an ESPN commentator, and he used to be an NBA player. I remember when I was a kid, he played with Cavs, but he's the owner of the JTG, the 47 car. He's the first black guy, black owner to win a Daytona 500. So that was kind of cool to see that. And Stenhouse, good. I don't know. I mean, he's in the chase now. I mean, he's gonna be one of the 16 guys. Let's see what he can do. See if he can put together some consistency throughout a season, so that I don't see Ricky Stenhouse Jr. winning a championship. But I don't see why Ricky can't. I don't see why he can't get to the round of 12 or round of 8. I mean, he's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna be a Final Four guy or a champion. But I don't see why Stenhouse couldn't make a couple rounds in the playoffs. If they
Maybe
I
think this is. I just think that this is to be his only win of the year, and I just don't see him doing anything else. I mean, he's more of a top 20 driver. I mean, maybe occasional 15-ish. I mean, I just, he's kind of off and on, So I mean, I myself, especially in our, leagues and stuff, I wouldn't expect, him actually winning a race. Me, I just overlook him because I'm just like it's Stenhouse, and he really hasn't been that great of a driver. So I'm just overall, eh, you know, you were talking
but
about
we did, but we did that with Truex. Remember years ago, Truex was in the one car, and he had a little bit of success, but nothing like he was supposed to come in and just tear the sport up. Him and Dale Jr. and never had. And then he goes to the 78 car, and Truex, or goes to the 56 Napa and then the 78 and wins the championship. And now Truex he's been a top name now for years, and Stenhouse is he's only what 34, 35. He's only I think he's 35, 36, something like that. But he's still, I mean, he's still young enough where he's not a 45-year-old guy where his career's, I mean, he still has a little bit of a window. And I don't see why he can't. I mean, 47 is a solid car. I mean, he hasn't been great. He hasn't gotten the results. I agree. He's been nothing special. But maybe this is the year. Maybe this is the year he makes a little bit of noise. Not going to win a championship. That's either, from 500. Obviously, Logano, I expect him to be up there all year. I expect him to be one of the Final Four guys.
Yeah.
So him finishing second. Bowman, I think Bowman's going to be a Final Four guy. He's got his shit together. And see, so those are two of my Final Four. Yeah, I'm doing a lot of early season predictions here. You're damn right. Logano, Bowman. Sorry to Kevin Harvick fans. His last season, I think Harvick. I think he can make the chase on points. I don't see Harvick winning any races, but I could see Harvick maybe getting in on points and making the chase, but he's not going to make any noise. He'll be like Stenhouse, maybe around a 12 guy. But Kyle Larson will be a Final Four. And then my last one, I think he's a dark horse, a little bit of a dark horse, but Ross Chastain. I like Chastain too. Yeah, I think he's got a dark horse, or I think he's got a dark horse chance to win the 2023 Cup.
Yeah, I know. I am all in on Harvick. I just think with his last year,
he's too, dude. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I always been a fan of him ever since, and I know. I just think that I think he's just going to at least put at least his foot down to at least try to get some wins in there, be in the at least be in the finals, for the playoff run, anyways. So I just think he might have some ups and downs, but I think he's gonna try to at least go for something, anyways. But yeah, that's our small, quick recap on NASCAR, so we don't lose any more viewers. But I thought this was a football show.
we do everything here. We do whatever we want. We do whatever we want. I talk a little NASCAR. If you're not careful, I'm gonna talk some ice skating. Might talk a little golf. I'll run off more people. I don't care. But, I was gonna say quick before we move off to NASCAR. Jay Keselowski won the first segment, and then Chastain won the second. So it wasn't a dominating victory for Stenhouse. Like most Daytona races, it's gonna be the lead is gonna be swapping, and we'll see. And we'll see a lot at California this weekend for the second race. This is like the first legit race that's not drafting, and so we'll see who the top dogs are gonna be. For
no, we got our anonymous Facebook user from last Sunday. He's back again. I'm not sure who that is, but we're.
Hey, I'm half naked right now, big boy. Who says I'm not wearing a Speedo?
Oh.
I might do some Marco Polo. Maybe not water polo, but
Oh, good God. But yeah, other than that, Eli and I, we talked about the AFC rankings last Tuesday. Now this week is going to be the NFC rankings. And I don't know, we might have some similarities, we might not. Who knows?
a little bit, just a little bit. There, we're 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 full of we're full of vigor and spice and everything nice. We got opinions to share, and I got you know what? I got first dibs on this NFC RB1 rankings. Now, this isn't a list of like 16, like in the AFC, you could argue Kareem Hunt's the top 16 back, and there are a couple other guys you could argue that. But we did it like, okay, you're the teams on the depth chart, you're the number one back. So that's how we did this list. Not sure why I'm anonymous as Daniel. Yeah, you got to put a name up there, Dan. I mean, you can't come in here unannounced like that. You're worrying us. You're making us think you maybe you're 5-0, and we can't have that. Not in this house.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Well,
Won't do it.
well, I mean, all you got to do is let StreamYard, use your profile and it pops up on here. So, I mean, I think there was a link for all that stuff. And, well, it was working last time or a couple streams ago. It was working fine. It popped up your name. So maybe you changed something. Who knows? Which is crazy.
Don't be changed now. But as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by Mr. Anonymous there. Let's get into the NFC top 16 backs, RB1. And to start it off, I got my top 5 here. This is up for debate. I'd honestly like to see what Donovan or Jared, what those guys have to say for themselves in the comments. But out of respect, and I think he's going to re-sign with the Giants. I think Saquon, because he doesn't have a lot of mileage. He really doesn't. He's been hurt so much. It's like, is he really a six? He's going into his 6th year, but he might as well be going into his 4th. So Saquon still got some mileage left on those tires. He's got some tread left. So I got him at number 1. Had over 1,300 yards. I think. What do you have?
He had 4.4 yards per carry.
Yeah, which is solid. 10 touchdowns. And obviously, I was gonna say, Jay, the AFC has better back. They just do. They have better quarterbacks. They have better running backs. You could argue they have better receivers. AFC is just stacked. So this list is a little subjective, and obviously, I don't think any of these guys maybe crack the top 5 end of it. The maybe 4th or 5th spot, but definitely not the top 3. The top 3 spots are all AFC backs. Like if we were to do an overall list. But Saquon, I got at 1. CMC at 2, just for the versatility. And I think CMC, as long as he's healthy, he's still got 1 or maybe closer to 2, just with his versatility and how he stays in shape. I think McCaffrey's got 2 premium years left. So going into next season, I'd still put him at 2. Ken Walker, he's got the potential to jump all these guys. He's got the potential to be the number 1 back in the NFC. Going forward the next few years. I mean, enough said. A guy got a monster rookie year, had 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns. He came out of nowhere. I mean, we saw him in the draft. I mean, we kind of had an idea at Michigan State, but when he came and because Seattle had Penny and a bunch of backs got hurt, and then Ken Walker, it's like, oh, what's he gonna do? He's kind of a mid-round pick, in some of the 12-man, 16-man leagues, and then he just exploded. I mean, you got your bang for your buck there. Definitely, if you got on him early with a dynasty or a keeper, you'll be paid handsomely. Aaron Jones, because I'm not a huge Dalvin Cook fan, I think the Vikings are going to move off him. If I'm being honest, he's having surgery this offseason. I wouldn't be shocked if Dalvin Cook was with another team next year. Maybe Tampa. Hey, come on down. So Aaron Jones. This is open recruiting, man. Anybody wants to come down to Tampa, they're welcome. Aaron Jones, I have at 4. That's not saying a lot. I don't think he cracked the top 10 like in overall backs, but Aaron Jones, I got a solid number 4, had over 1,100 yards. Didn't have a lot of touchdowns, had 6 rushing touchdowns, but
Um,
still he's in that window. He's in that window, Jay, with like McCaffrey and Barkley, where I still think he's got 1 or 2 productive years left, and so it's kind of a respect thing. Dalvin Cook, just mentioned him. I think he's going to be out the door. I think they're from what I saw with the mock draft, quite a few of them have Bijan from Bijan Robinson from Texas going to Minnesota. So that would be a nice successor to Dalvin. I don't know. How about you? Do you have like a top 5 or 6?
yeah, I was just looking. Aaron Jones only had he only had 2 rushing touchdowns.
Oh, you're right. Oh shit, I thought that was 6. That,
He had
stat
5.
correct.
He had 5 receiving touchdowns.
That's probably what I was thinking of. So seven. He
Yeah.
didn't score a lot of 7 total touchdowns. I know you could probably, but I'm not that enamored with the NFC backs. I'm just not. I don't think that there's a lot of high end NFC backs, and so he's kind of there by default, maybe because even the guys, I can't. I might even put, hell, Jay, I might even put Justin Fields at number 1. That's how bad. That's how bad the NFC running backs are. And I
Oh,
might put him at 1. I mean, you could argue that Miles Sanders could be in the top 5. Maybe
yeah.
I think Jamal Williams, and we'll get to him in a second, but I think Jamal Williams might be a 1-year wonder. I mean, he did nothing for years in Green Bay. That's why they let him go. So
Yeah.
I know he had 1,000 yards, 17 touchdowns, but it's kind of hard to put him in the top 5 when he doesn't have a track record. Like Aaron Jones at least has 3, probably close to 4 years of this kind of level of production. So
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but
he's solid. He's solid. You could argue Aaron Jones maybe number 6 or 7, anywhere between 4 to 7. I think it sounds about right. I'll see where you put
yeah.
him, but
I mean, if you think about it, the Packers they were actually they had a kind of a two-headed monster. They had AJ Dillon too. I mean, he had a little bit more of the
and yep.
7 rushing touchdowns, and I know he had a few receiving touchdowns too. I just didn't put that all in the stats, and those I'll probably put in there eventually, just so that I have all that stuff in there for good comparison. But I mean, just right now we're just talking rushing, but I mean, Green Bay did have some decent, two-headed monster there. So I mean, it's not like it's a bad deal. I mean, Aaron Jones just a little bit better with the yards per carry. Dylan not so much, even though he had those big old meat legs. It's just he had about 4.1. But I mean, overall, I mean, Aaron Jones was the better back. He was averaging at least 65 yards a game at least. So I mean and that's good. That's good production.
And you know what? Just because we felt like it, I added the S at the end of Cook because he cooks. He cooks. Dalvin's gonna cook. I felt like it. We put something up there. Well, whatever.
Well,
We put whatever we want. Who cares? All right, go ahead, Jay.
well, you had Barkley at 1. I got CMC at 1. So I just think these two guys flip flop. I just think that
Yep.
CMC will. I think he'll just, with him being traded with the Niners. I just think he'll be their main guy. He'll be their he'll get the receiving touchdowns and the receiving touchdowns. Just kind of like he's kind of like an Eckler, but a little bit better. And that's just the way I see CMC. I mean, he actually had about 700 and some odd rushing yards. He had at least 6 touchdowns. I think he had a couple receiving touchdowns too as well. I don't have those offhand, but I mean, with Elijah Mitchell and Jordan Mason kind of being in that backfield as well. I mean, McCaffrey had more. He had more of that, like RB1 to him, and Barkley. I like Barkley at number 2. I know these. I mean, you can just say these two flip flop a little bit, and I just like the fact that Barkley came back and actually had a nice, great season. Totally unexpected. I wish he would have had the player come back, player of the year this year, but that went to Geno Smith.
Gino.
So yeah, I know, which was kind of sad. But I mean, other than that, I mean, I like the fact that Barkley. I mean, he actually had 1,300 yards rushing after an ACL. So I mean, it was a little sluggish, but I mean, he came back. It sucked that the Giants kind of right, they kinda fell out of the playoffs or whatever, or did make it, I can't remember exactly. But either way, I just think the Giants get better next year. I mean, you have to think about it too, Daniel Jones, he had quite a bit of rushing yards too, so I mean, I just think they're gonna be doing some upgrading, and we'll kinda get into some of that stuff too this summer too. We'll do kind of a whole breakdown of everything too as well. We kinda did that last year as well. But yeah, I like Walker. I mean, I'm a fan of Walker too. No, he's their number one guy there. Rashad Penny didn't do shit, and I'm trying to think of there was some other guy too. I can't remember that. Who was the one that retired from the
Oh,
neck
DJ,
injury?
uh, oh, I was thinking of
Yeah.
DJ Dallas, but it was not DJ.
Yeah. He was there, and there was one other
Oh,
one.
oh, oh, Chris Carson. Chris
Yeah.
Carson.
Yeah. Yeah. If it wasn't for that, I'm sure Walker would have been pushed down a little bit more. But other than that, um, that's kind of my perspective, and I think Walker coming in, with all that nice chemistry that they had this year. I like the fact that Walker's gonna, he'll I think he's gonna get maybe more than he had this year. We'll say maybe 1,200 yards rushing this year. So
Well, Jay, he'll have a full season. We forget. I mean, Ken Walker was really only the starter for what, 10 games? So
yeah,
if he
not
stays
very.
healthy
Yep.
for a full season, he might be the leading rusher in the NFC.
Yep.
If I'm putting odds down on it, I mean, there's a damn good chance. This guy's got the goods. I mean,
Yep.
if it wasn't for like respect that we have for CMC and Barkley and their skill set, and I mean, and Walker, he's a second year guy. I mean, he could fall. I mean, we fell in love with Jonathan Taylor, and he kind of fell off. So we don't know what to, always expect with a second year, third year guy. So, but yeah, if it wasn't for
Yep.
that, I would have put Walker at 1. I mean, that's how
Yep.
highly I think of the kid.
Yep. And I know I got Cooks ahead of Jones. I know you got those flip flop. I mean, I like Cooks just a little bit more. I mean, and even though Cooks is kind of injury prone, he's just capable. I mean, these two guys are pretty much similar. Aaron Jones and Cooks, they're the same. They're pretty much the same player. I mean, they get the bulk of everything. Um, I think let's see here. I think he had yeah. So yeah, these two guys. So Cooks had 100 or 1,173. Aaron Jones had 1,121. So you think about it, these two guys are pretty similar. Vikings had a good year. The Packers, even though they had a crappy, shitty year, I mean, Aaron Jones was still turning it up. Delvin had a little bit more touchdowns. So these guys are the only downfall with Aaron Jones and Cooks. The guys are fumble. These guys are more likely to fumble the ball. So I mean, these guys are not holding their balls like they should be.
Well, make
Uh,
sure you get a firm grip on them, boys.
right? Uh, but I mean,
Yeah, I think all three of us are like, if Donovan were to post a list too, I think all three of us sound like we're pretty close. Donovan said he'd have McCaffrey and Barkley at 1, 2, and I think he likes Walker. So yeah, I think if
yeah,
Donovan did a top 5 or 6, I think we're all in the same ballpark. I mean, there's no egregious stuff like, wow, this guy should be. I think we're all pretty close. I'll get to Tony Pollard too. I think he's
yeah,
on my next
yeah,
sheet.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And well, I mean, overall, I mean, Pollard. If not, it would have been. If it wasn't for Pollard, I probably would have had Zeke in there because Zeke was their main guy up in there because he was actually getting the carries. He had 231 carries. Pollard had 193. So I mean, you can kind of tell, even though Pollard was more the versatile running back. He at least got 1,000 yards rushing.
Yeah.
Zeke had about 871. But I mean, overall, I mean, they were a two-headed monster. Just put it that way. I mean, I like Pollard, and he's a little bit smaller, but he's got that burst ability to him. So I mean, I like Pollard in number 6.
He does a lot of things. I mean, he can catch it out of the backfield. He can get you 1,000 yards. Got 9 touchdowns last year. I don't see that.
Yeah,
You know what? And I was under the impression that they might. Zeke's going to go into his 8th year. I was under the impression that maybe they'll move off him, or maybe I think they're going to run it back. And I mentioned that on a few shows ago. I think that Dallas is going to run it back with everything on offense. I think they're going to go with the two-headed monster. They're going to roll with CD, Dak, all the boys, Dalton Schultz, all those guys. So I think you're going to have similar stats next year with Tony Pollard, which puts him perfectly at number. And maybe like I said, if Dalvin Cook moves on and nobody I mean, Pollard could possibly jump up to like number 5 on your list because you never know with
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook's health or if he goes somewhere and becomes like a secondary back because of his health. He goes to Tampa or he goes to I'm trying to think of like maybe Cincy. Maybe if Cincy, if Joe Mixon has some legal issues or Cincy just, they're going to move off him. He gets too expensive. I mean, maybe he signs like hey, I can go win a Super Bowl with the Bengals. So, you never know. I mean, off season, free agency's coming up soon. Trades will be happening. Aaron Rodgers is going to leave his black hole, so things are coming.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
I'll get to my 6 through 10 here. Keep this rolling. Miles Sanders, him and so I had a little bit of a debate with Miles Sanders and Tony Pollard. I think they're interchangeable, so you could easily put Pollard at 6 as well. It's just a respect thing. Everybody says, well, it's because of Jalen or because of the rugby, like you pushing Jalen from like the 3-yard line and shit for all his rushing touchdowns. But Miles Sanders he's a solid back. He really is, man. I mean, you could have argued before the season. You could have argued, okay, maybe Scott will get some touches, Gainwell will get some touches, but Miles Sanders was by without a doubt their RB1, and he had over 1,200 yards, 11 touchdowns. To me, that sounds like a Pro Bowl level running back, or borderline Pro Bowl. I mean, he had a damn good season. So, put him at 6. And unless he gets traded somewhere, if Philly runs that same offense back next year, I don't see why he can't get another 1,000-yard season. I mean, he's not old. Tony Pollard, we just spoke about him. Yeah, definitely. He's gonna have similar stats next year unless injuries happen. Jamal Williams, I mentioned him 5-10 minutes ago. I know he had 17 touchdowns and 1,000 yards, but I want to see a second season like this because it's weird. It's like a Geno Smith thing. It's like I get if there's a little buyer apprehension going into next year, whether no matter what league you're doing, because Geno was a bust and a backup, and it's weird seeing Geno Smith at a Pro Bowl level, and it was weird seeing Jamal Williams at a Pro Bowl level this year. I mean, he had 7. I mean, who would have thought he would have led the NFL in rushing touchdowns? I mean, really,
right?
Anybody? Yeah. So, but I can't put him above Tony Pollard, Miles Sanders. Just can't do it. DeAndre Swift. I think if you were to poll people before the season in the last couple of years, I mean, DeAndre Swift has been their lead back. I mean, he was RB1 coming into the year. But yeah, I mean, Jamal Williams finished the year strong, and they're bringing back. They're bringing back Ben Johnson, the OC, basically bringing back the same Lions cast in the next year. So maybe Jamal, maybe he's got another season like that in him. I'm doubtful on that though. Alvin Kamara, he's fallen off the cliff, bro. When you're only putting up 897 and 2 touchdowns, I knew this would happen. All great running back. I mean, he was great for about a 5-year stretch. I mean, Alvin Kamara was as good as he got. But he's shot, and if the Saints were smart, they'd move off him now. I mean, he's meant too much to the franchise. I get it. You don't want to really cut a guy like that, but if you could still get some value for him, and he could go be a backup somewhere on a good team, like the Bengals, go try to chase a ring or something. I just think Kamara's shot, and then number 10, David Montgomery. I thought there was a debate maybe, in 2021 about, hey, maybe Khalil Herbert could jump him, because David Montgomery's had injuries. But no, he's the RB1, and you get to this point in the list, and there's nobody impressive. I could have put Tyler Algier here, and I probably should have. Honestly, if I could revise this, I'd put Algier at 10 because he's got a brighter future than Kamara and Montgomery. But David Montgomery, he's had a couple of good seasons, so I don't know. I would assume he stays in Chicago, but maybe they clean house. I mean, maybe they, if they lose their shit and they trade Justin Fields, maybe it's open season. Like, hey, we're just gonna chop, cut, rebuild. And so we'll but the information I have right now, David Montgomery, I have at 10. We'll see what Jay's got.
Yeah, and that's for sure. And the other thing too with Kamara too, and I mean he just got indicted for him beating some dude too. So I mean, So who knows if he's playing this year or not? I
Him and
mean,
Mixon in the backfield. That sounds like like Mike Tyson waiting to happen.
yeah,
Oh man.
yeah. You were saying with I think Herbert is just slightly a little bit better than Montgomery, just because Herbert's got he's um Herbert's got more of that burst to him. And Montgomery, he is a little bit older, a little bit aged. I mean, it sucks that the Bears were just playing just shitty this year because Montgomery almost had 1,000 yards rushing this year. I mean, 5 touchdowns. He was averaging 50 yards a game. Yeah, not the best. I mean, it's kind of typical with a team that's was struggling because they didn't know who their identity was, and next thing you know, you had Fields just going off like just a heyday. So I mean,
Yeah,
it's
he had to. He had to. Justin Fields. He was like RVD. He was the whole damn show, man. Like without Fields, they would have been 0-17. I mean, Fields single handedly. He had to. I mean, what the hell was he working with? Yeah,
yeah,
David Montgomery. It yeah. You get to this portion, like I said, the NFC is a lot weaker at running back. You get to this portion, and it's kind of like who do you want to throw? You know, who do you want to put stock in? Do you want to?
yeah,
Is it Algier? Is it Brian Robinson from the Commanders? Like you start looking at younger guys and who goes where. If I had Bijan, if honestly, if Bijan Robinson, if I knew for sure he was going to be a Viking, I would stick Bijan probably at number 9 here. Like if
yeah,
I knew
yeah,
he was going to be drafted. So if we do a revised list after the draft or sometime in the summer, I would
yeah.
definitely put Bijan above Alvin Kamara and David Montgomery.
And that's something we'll probably do too. And
Yep.
after the draft, after everything shakes out, and I wouldn't mind coming back and just kind of we can kind of go over some of this stuff too. And I just want to get back to Donovan's question or comment real quick. Yeah, it sucks that Swift can't stay healthy, but I mean he's a capable back. He's just a slight better and younger than Williams. It's just the fact that he couldn't stay healthy enough, and as long as he can stay healthy, I think they could probably have a two-headed monster. But I think Swift
They'd be
probably
scary. They would be if he could. I mean, seriously, if you had a healthy DeAndre Swift, who's like the prototypical NFL running back, and Jamal Williams can kind of be the bulldozer, just kind of your goal line back, or kind of like James Conner was with the Cardinals a few years ago,
yeah,
or
most
back in
definitely.
the day, Marion Barber with the Cowboys, or a lot of these like double-digit touchdown bowling ball kind of guys. I mean, the Lion with if Goff plays at an MVP level, I mean, this team could win the Super Bowl next year. I mean, really, and I know Jared would get his jollies off if the Lions won the Super Bowl, but yeah, I mean, there's a
Well,
lot of potential if these guys if Swift stays healthy. But the question
yeah,
has always been, it's never been DeAndre Swift's talent. It's health. It's can you trust this guy? And in fantasy, I can't go anywhere near him. I
yeah,
just can't do it. I don't trust him.
yeah, and that's
I'd
the
rather have
downfall there.
all wins.
Yeah, and that's the downfall too. I mean, Swift averages a little bit better than Williams. At 5.5 if he can stay healthy. I mean that's legit. I mean and he had 99 carries. He had lists a little bit over 500 yards rushing. He had one touchdown, but if he can stay healthy, I mean I think he can probably be 1,000-yard back next year if he's able to.
Yeah,
That's
no,
just my opinion.
yeah. Hey, 2,000-yard backs. That's something the Browns should have been doing. With Hunt and Chubb, but
Right? They wasted away that. That's for damn sure.
sucks to suck.
Uh,
What do you
yeah,
got here,
that's
Jay?
so I got Sanders here at 7. I got Kamara up just a little bit better than Montgomery. I did. I mean, I know you had Kamara at 9. I like Kamara at 8. I mean, Kamara's always just been. I just think that they didn't know what they were doing this year. They were trying to figure out because they didn't have Breeze. They didn't have a legit quarterback behind the center,
Andy
which
Dalton. Andy Dalton.
so I just think that there was just no chemistry there at all, which why he dipped down a little bit in a lot of his stuff, his running capabilities, and I mean, he still did what he needed to do. I mean, he had 2 touchdowns. I think he had a couple receiving touchdowns too, if I remember right. I was looking at some of those, but I mean, overall, I mean, he was their main guy back there. And I know they have one other back. You know, they had Mark Ingram, but there was one other dude too that they kind of had. But I mean, overall, Kamara, I think he got injured too. He was out maybe 1 or 2 games or something like that too. In there, I know he missed a couple, but I mean, he overall he had 223 yard or 223 carries, so I just, I think he dipped a little bit in his average, just a smudge, but I mean, overall he had a couple fumbles this year, which is not really too typical with him. I'd have to go back and take a look at that, because I think this year he had a little bit more fumbles than anything. But you kind of highlighted Montgomery. I like Montgomery. um I just think that, with we kind of talked about that earlier. I just didn't think what the Bears were really know what they were doing with Montgomery, and that Herbert and whatnot. So Herbert was a little bit better over the back, but Montgomery's still their number one guy there if it all comes to it. I had Williams at 10, and I think you had Williams somewhere too. I can't remember exactly, but
Number 8.
number 8. Okay, so I have him down just a little bit, because you just don't know. I mean, I just kind of put it in there. I was thinking, well, with Swift maybe being a little bit more involved, would probably bump him down just a little bit. So, but yeah, other than that, we can. I got Robinson and Algier at 11, 12. Algier was a rookie last year. I just, now this is kind of getting down to the nitty gritty. I think Robinson, with him, with his little unexpected, getting shot and stuff this last year, and glad he was able to recover from that and actually play this year, which was nice, because, I was looking forward to him being a monster this year. But, the Commanders were kind of up and down. They couldn't really get the run game going and whatnot in my eyes. So I mean, they had 2 good, running backs that are decent enough to get the job done. It's just a matter of which guy it could have been.
And you get to this portion of the list, and it's a lot of young guys with potential. It's veterans that might still be holding on to their position. I like Antonio. I'll get to my list in a second here. But yeah, Antonio Gibson. I think it's been established that Robinson's the RB1, that he's jumped Antonio Gibson, and I didn't think that would happen. I thought Antonio for at least 2020. I mean, he had a great rookie season, but Antonio Gibson kind of fell off the map too. He had a few decent games towards the end of the year, more on receiving. Robinson was kind of more of the rushing back, and then he was more of the receiving. Gibson was more of the receiving back, but I think it's the last. So that's nope. Sorry, didn't mean to prompt that. I blew my load a little
Yeah, you
early.
did. Yeah.
All right, so my 11 to 16 here. Algier, whatever, however the hell you want to pronounce it, I don't care. He's number 11. He could be higher on the list. 1,000-yard rookie season. Enough said. It could go one or two ways. He could, maybe there's somebody that Atlanta drafts in like the 6th round that jumps him. Maybe they go a different direction, offense, or he could turn him like Walker. He could maybe turn into like a 1,300-yard back. So it's we'll see what happens there. But he definitely took the reins towards the end of the season from Cordero. And we should expect that. I mean, Cordero, he's 10th year back, going to do his 11th year if he comes back. So that was to be expected. Brian Johnson, what? Brian Robinson. Well, apparently I got it. I'm an AC/DC fan, so apparently I got it mixed up. Brian Johnson with Brian Robinson. So whatever.
It was probably my fault.
Tomato, whatever.
I thought you were talking about like Bijan, but Bijan. Maybe you had a typo when you sent me that stuff.
Hey, spoiler. Maybe the Commanders do take Bijan. But no, but
Uh,
we meant to put Brian Robinson there. Yeah, like that's a good place for him. And the last four guys, maybe you could have Lenny Fournette a little higher than 16, but I think and I either see him retiring or kind of playing out his days as like a 1-year veteran minimum kind of running back. He's not what he was. I know he had a few games where he popped, and he had decent 2021, great 2020. But it's getting his life cycle in the NFL is coming to an end. Donta Foreman kind of came out of nowhere. He's kind of been a backup journeyman back, and second half of the year once CMC was traded, I mean, he tore it up. So I don't know if he can repeat that. As of now, he's the number one because Chuba Hubbard is not a number one back. I don't even know if he's a number two back. So Hubbard is probably going to work his way out of it. So he's not he's not never going to be an RB1. So right now it's Foreman, James Conner for the time being. Like I was mentioning, veterans holding on to their spot. James Conner is the number one back in Arizona, but I could see them taking somebody maybe early second round. They maybe take the second rated running back, the kid from Alabama. I've seen that floating around. So and Cam Akers, I would have had Cam Akers at 16, but the last few games of the year he looked good. He did. Cam Akers looked good, and heading into next year, I have to think that he's the Rams' number one running back. And maybe they upgrade, or maybe maybe they bring in they try to trade for an Alvin Kamara. Maybe they try to trade for a Dalvin Cook, or they got cap issues, so I doubt that. But yeah, Cam Akers for the time being, I have him at 13. We'll see what Jay's got.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's pretty legit there. I mean, these last four are always gonna be kind of difficult because these teams are just unpredictable, and you know they might have had some a decent rushing season. It's just one of those things that's not the best. All right. Well, my last few, I got Foreman at 13. I got him a little bit higher. Um, I got I think, yeah. So we're kind of similar. I got Foreman just a little bit higher, Akers behind him. I got Connor at 15, and I got Fournette at 16. So I know, Fournette had a pretty good season. It's and I even told you too, when you were in a couple other different leagues, told you to nab up, if he, I told you to nab up Chuba or Foreman if you could, and whatnot. And once I heard that news, I was like, oh crap. So I was trying to think of who to pick up or drop, and so I ended up picking up Foreman right away. And I kept him the rest of the season too. And that was one of those things, is like, oh, is it gonna be Foreman or is it gonna be Chuba? And it's just like you just don't know who is gonna be getting the duties, the number one duties. So it's kind of like, so I'm up in Foreman. Akers, he had a rough season. Let's just put it that way. They didn't know, the Rams didn't know what the hell they were doing. They were playing games and whatnot. Well, he was the lead guy, and then he got
Daryl
benched.
Henderson Jr. Daryl
Yeah,
Henderson, they cut he was number one at one time. They cut his ass.
yeah,
Cardinals, they cut their number one back at Benjamin. Yeah, a lot of these bad teams. You catching a theme here. A lot of these bad teams. No wonder we misspelled some of the names on these bad fucking teams. Who cares? Who cares about the Commanders? Who cares about the damn Rams? The Cardinals are a mess.
yeah,
85-year-old James Conner is still their number one. I mean, come on now. He ain't no
yeah.
Frank Gore. He's not
No,
he's not Adrian Peterson. I mean, these guys are due for an upgrade. So if you're moving a Kareem Hunt, if you're moving an Alvin Kamara, who's maybe under a different offense, maybe he's still got one good to great year left in him. You need to upgrade. Bucks need to upgrade. They need to go get Dalvin Cook, or they need, Cardinals, Rams. All these teams need an upgrade. That's why they're in the position that they're in. Running back isn't a premium thing. I mean, look at the Chiefs. I mean, they're Pacheco. He's at the bottom of the list, and they won the Super Bowl. So it's not a premium, but you see what, like, Giants playoff team have a versatile running back. 49ers NFC title game team, versatile running back. So a lot of the guys that I think Ken Walker can do both too. I think he can catch and receive. You got to have a versatile back. That Aaron Jones can do it all if he's given the
yeah.
chance to. So I think that's where it's headed. I mean, these one-trick ponies that are getting up there in age, it's time to move off them or draft
Yep.
some. Take the kid from Alabama, take Bijan.
That
It's
yep.
that
And I think we'll kind of get into some of that too. We'll just kind of look at some of the guys that are coming into the new league or coming into the new season of this year, and yeah, it'd be kind of fun.
Gibbs. That's who I was thinking of. Gibbs is the running back from Alabama. He's like the
Mm.
second rated, probably an early second round pick.
I know. There's
We'll
one
talk,
running back. There's one guy I'm eyeing on, and I think he'll come out next year, and that's the kid from ECU. So
he's a dude. He might have 2,000 yards this year. this
what?
coming, season.
Yeah, but let's hope he. Because I was looking at Sleeper here, and they have his name in the rookie thing. So I don't know if he's going to be coming out this year or not. I'm like, I hope he doesn't, because I'm like, dude, stay with ECU.
Stay in school. He could be a first. He ain't gonna jump Bijan, and he
Oh
probably
no,
won't jump.
no, oh god, no.
He'd probably be like a late second, early third round pick. Go back to school next year, tear it up, maybe set some
Yeah,
set some records, and then in a weak running back class, because that's what 2024 is. It's great on quarterback, with Williams and May, but I think it's weak on running back. When I saw he can be a first round pick. Like go back to school if you're whatever. If he's a junior, like go back.
Yeah,
increase that value.
Yeah, that's my opinion on that. I just I liked him for next year, and if I'm able to, I'm going to keep my eyes on him a little bit this year, and kind of hopefully maybe try to get him next year, because I just like the fact that he's really explosive. Just watching some of his highlights, and I even tried watching some of the games too, and super explosive, and he's very versatile, and it's just he's like a mini Tyreek Hill. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, Tyreek. But remember back in the day, remember Chris Johnson from Tennessee? Remember he was at college, ECU.
Yeah,
that's who he reminds me a lot of Chris Johnson. He's a similar body types, just crazy speed, 4.2, 4.3 speed. He's an animal. I'm getting so excited. The draft is like, dude, the draft is like 2 months away. It's coming. Draft is coming. And we'll get you prepared on this show. I know I kind of put a few things on the scroll there for some of the mock draft updates or some positions, but we'll try to get heavier into that. We're just kind of bringing up some of the big event. Obviously NASCAR we were going to bring up because there's the Daytona 500's biggest race of the season. XFL, kick off the season, and we'll see where the league headed. We'll kind of keep scores on the bottom ticker, and if there's some big news, we'll bring it up. But we'll work at a lot of the NFL, mock draft, positions, mock draft, maybe some college football, what to expect. So a lot of that stuff's coming, but it's exciting times, Jay. It's exciting.
It is. I was trying to look at Sleeper here quick too, and now I can't find any of the rookie stuff that they kind of had listed before and whatnot. So I'm like, what the hell? But I know I'll have to kind of dig around on that a little bit and kind of see, because I'm all kind of curious now, because if he was going to be drafted this year or not. So I'm like, ugh. Well, yeah, actually we kind of slimmed our showdown this week, which is kind of crazy, man. Holy crap.
You know what? I got the stamina, bro. I could go for another 2 hours if I wanted to.
Well, I'm sure you could. Oh my goodness gracious! But yeah, before we get up out of here, let's go ahead and we'll recap your top 16 real quick, and then I'll recap mine, and I think we'll get up out of here then.
Case people went to the bathroom, ate some food. We're watching some NXT college basketball, whatever's on tonight. I was bringing this up. We got Saquon at 1, CMC at 2, Ken Walker at 3, Aaron Jones, Babel, but he's next tier guy, number 4, and Dalvin Cook, who I think is going to be traded at 5. Go ahead.
I got.
You want me to?
I got McKay.
Do you want me to finish off my whole list, or do you want me to do?
Yep, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yep.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Let me. I'll just bang them all out. That's what we'll do. Miles Sanders, I had at 6. Tony Pollard, interchangeable with him. With Sanders, I think he's at 7. Jamal Williams, Jay's got him a little lower, but I put him at 8 because of the 17 touchdowns. Can't argue with that. Alvin Kamara had some fumbling issues and some offensive, they didn't know what the hell they were doing in New Orleans. So maybe he can come back. Out of respect, put him at 9, still there. David Montgomery at number 10. I could see him being traded, or, I can see him out the door. Him, Cook, probably out the door. Algier, his Algier, whatever the hell you want to say. His future's bright. I like him in Atlanta. Brian Johnson. Thunderstruck! No, it's Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson here at number 12. Cam Akers debatable at 13, but these last 4 guys, who gives a shit? None of them at this time at this time next year, probably half these guys will be out of the NFL or retired, or so who cares? Cam Akers, James Conner, Donta Foreman, and Lenny Fournette. He's done. He's you want to talk about XFL bound? Lenny Fournette is XFL bound 2024. Calling it here.
There you go, man. Holy crap! All right, I got CMC at 1, Barkley at 2, Walker at 3. I got Cooks at 4. I got Aaron Jones at 5. I got Pollard at 6. I got Miles Sanders at 9. I got Kamara at 8. Got David Montgomery at 9. Jamal Williams at 10. Brian Robinson at 11. I got Tyler Algier at 12. And then I got Foreman at 13. Cam Akers at 14. James, who cares? Cardinals, 15. Yeah, and I got the soon-to-be XFL Fournette at 16. Or USFL Fournette.
Yeah. The big acquisition of 2024 to the San Antonio Brahmas. We have Brock Purdy and Lenny Fournette.
Right? Oh my goodness gracious.
Oh my God.
Well, everyone, that's kind of concludes everything, and our kind of concludes our show anyways, and hopefully we're not buried in, so maybe we'll probably do a show on Thursday, and we'll have to see. We'll have to kind of get together if we'll see what happens.
Hey, if we're bored, well, and maybe who knows? Maybe we got a few surprises. Maybe we'll have a new background. Maybe I'll actually be wearing a shirt next time. Maybe Jay will rock a different hat. There's endless possibilities. So, but yeah, Jay's always updating everything, and if there's going to be a Thursday episode, and we'd love to have Donovan. We'd love to do the 3-man weave again. Work a little baseball in, a little football. If there's any news from any other sports, regardless of what it is, work in a bunch of stuff, and that that's what, if I want to be snowed in with 14 inches, who better to be snowed in with than Jay, Donovan, and some of this lovely Jameson here. I might, Eric, bro, dude. I might need a coat, a hoodie, a couple beanies, some gloves.
Yeah, thanks, brother. That's about right. But yeah, that's for sure. I know we'll have to see. We'll have to see if Donovan's got some time, and we'll have to totally see if Thursday is something we could probably work with. We'll have to we'll have to get some stuff together then, and kind of get her together pretty well quick, because we'll have to start doing that now. But I was thinking maybe our next show. Yeah, I was thinking tight ends is kind of lousy, so maybe we can do some tight end stuff. With some rookie stuff. Kind of talk about.
Yeah, we could probably get tight ends out of the way, because I know everybody's so interested in who's the tight end one for the Texans.
Yeah, so I was thinking that's what I was kind of thinking. Yeah, so I was kind of thinking maybe we could our next show we could talk some rookies and some tight ends, and then we can leave the juicy wide receivers for last. Because that's always gonna be fun, there's a lot of guys. So, and I think that's just gonna be a whole 2-hour show on just wide receivers.
Yeah. That's gonna be like a 2-parter. That's gonna be like a season finale. But I mean, come on, let's be real here. The fact that you could get three of us on one show, Don, maybe we can make this happen. And you get twice at me this week. How many times do you get 2 Eli's in a week? I mean, come on now. So yeah, Jay will let everybody know if we're gonna do a Thursday show, but and we'll try to get done of it. We'll try to do the 3-man weave, and it's gonna be great, man. We'll be snowed in up here. I know Eric's in Florida and probably laying on the beach laughing at us, but we'll have a good time regardless. And maybe he's turning on some AC/DC now. Thunderstruck. That's gonna replace Van. Moving on up, it's gonna replace Van Jefferson as my new bit. That and maybe Thursday, if we have a show, maybe it'll be the return of the Red Light District.
Ooh,
I know.
That'd be kind of scary.
When the lights go out, all the freaks come out like me.
Oh, goodness gracious, guys. But yes, I forgot to slap our Discord link in the comment section. So let's make sure so before we get up out of here, make sure you join our Discord.
There we go.
Yep, I'll have to start working on putting our Discord link in the description. I keep on forgetting about doing that myself. And but yeah, make sure you join our Discord. Good things are bound to come this year for us. This is be our kind of our second kind of yearish, first year, second year. Maybe our first year was our rookie year. Now this is our legit year, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, make sure
I'm gonna do gritty here.
All right, but yeah, make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow some Google Podcasts, Apple, and Spotify if you don't catch us, our live stream. So I have to, and I actually got to update our MLB. I had it downloaded. I just didn't get a chance to upload it. So I'll have to do the MLB, and I'll have to get ours uploaded here by hopefully tomorrow. Maybe tonight. I don't know yet. We'll see how busy I am at work.
Jay's a workaholic. He's gonna he's gonna be up after work tonight. He's gonna be cranking it out and be quality stuff no matter regardless. Looking forward to it.
Yes. So, all right, everybody. Have yourselves a lovely Tuesday night. I'm Jamie, and that's Eli over there. I think. Is that Eli over there? I have to I had to do a double take.
Yeah. I'm gonna go do a workout and I'm gonna put some WWE NXT on the phone. Maybe if it's up on the gym, go watch a little college basketball. There's probably some good stuff on ESPN and everybody enjoy some sports and set your teams and have a great Tuesday. Yeah, baby. Whew. Bye-byes.